Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Help on the Way podcast. I am your host for the evening, Fig, along with my co-host, Knob. Say hello, Knob.
Hello, Knob.
And along with my other co-host, Game. Say hello, Game. Game.
It's me, Game. I love wrestling.
Cool, Game. Welcome back. How have things been going?
I'm
How's the
really
wrestling?
good. I'm Game. Oh, I know everything that's going on with wrestling. It's going on right now, probably as we speak. And I know that Gravedigger is beating the hell out of the Undertaker. Gravedigger's a monster truck.
And Undertaker's dig graves, famously.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. But
as
you're
you
not,
can tell,
not Game, are you?
No, I'm not Game. I've been doing. I was doing a killer impression, and I think I tricked everybody.
Well, my moderating voice is the Game moderating voice, an impression of. So, come on back, Game. Game's still on some sort of paid or unpaid leave.
Yeah,
but it's running out.
I think it's contract negotiations.
Yeah, union grievance or something.
Yeah.
Okay, but as Game would say, we are featuring today's show, which is April 8th of 1978. This is a real game show. Not a game show, but a game show. Because it includes Lazy Lightning Supplication, as well as a Scarlet Fire. But before we jump into April 8th, 78, which was in Jacksonville, Florida, we do have a couple things to talk about. Nothing of crazy note in Grateful Dead-dom. A little personal milestone for myself, but let's talk about Phil sitting out for the Sunday Daydream. Knob, what do you know about that?
So, Phil and friends were scheduled to play at Terrapin Crossroads for their Sunday Daydream shows, which I think are annual.
Is Terrapin Crossroads? That's not the bar, is it? Or is it?
Yes.
Is that shut down? I thought that was shut down.
Yes, but I believe they opened a new one. Okay, they're doing outdoor shows at the Terrapin Crossroads site.
Oh, so
it is not
which
an
is
active.
Closed.
Yes, the bar and restaurant part of the venue is closed, but there's still an outdoor stage.
Oh, very cool. Not to quiz you on California venues.
That's okay.
Off the top of your head, Knob, but thank you.
That's all right. That was a very
good
fast
reach.
Google.
Oh, okay. I was going to give it to you. All right, why is Phil sitting out?
Because Phil has COVID. Phil has contracted the novel coronavirus.
Not so novel anymore.
Not so
sick
novel.
Of it.
No, we're all pretty over it.
They're over it. Come on.
And it looks like a nice lineup of Phil and friends. It's Taylor Goldsmith and Griffin Goldsmith of Dawes, Holly Bowling, Stu Allen, Natalie Cressman from the Trey Band, Graham Lesh, and now with Phil being out of commission, Sam Grisman, David Grisman's son, is going to be playing the bass, which will be cool.
Big shoes to fill. No pun intended.
Big shoes to fill.
This was a big Phil night. No pun intended. Okay. Yeah, we'll jump into April 8th, 78, which I thought was a big Phil night, or at least Phil was way high in the mix. I don't know if you noticed that, Knob. Yeah.
Very prominent Phil.
Phil lovers rejoice. But before we do, a little personal milestone. As frequent listeners know, as frequenters of the Grateful Dead subreddit know, this podcast is a spin-off of the Help on the Way weekly thread that I started many moons ago.
How many moons ago?
Well, this weekend will be 10, which is outrageous.
Wow.
It's a decade of me every Sunday going through my spreadsheet and seeing what I can find on that show and linking it up there onto the Grateful Dead subreddit. But it's been...
we're all the better off for you doing it.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that, Knob. It's been a labor of love. It's also been kind of necessary for me. I'm blessed with a job that will allow me to listen to music, and it's actually one of the things that gives me joy. So, for me, this is just kind of a way of accessing that joy, because otherwise, I don't know what I do. Like to me, like Day of the Dead, like I see that's a way a lot of people access the Grateful Dead. I think that's as kind of arbitrary as what we do, which is extremely arbitrary. But for the last 10 years, I've been making it maybe a little bit less arbitrary by actually trying to provoke some conversation and get some community involvement. And it's been a really cool thing. And I'm really happy to have done it. I can't believe it's been 10 years. I can't believe I'm still on Reddit. I thought Reddit would go the way of Dig multiple
years
times.
ago.
I'm a Dig cast off. And yeah, that was a long time ago. But here we are, and Reddit is publicly traded now, which is outrageous. That's about it. Any thoughts on that? Any questions for me?
How does it feel to be 10 years into the project?
It feels good. Yeah, it does feel good. I'm glad that we turned it into a podcast. I think it's an excellent. Yeah, I think it's an excellent way to engage. And it's
crazy to think about is the podcast, and if my math is right, and it probably is, I'll be smug about that. Sure. Is that the podcast has been around for a quarter of the life of the listening project?
That actually is crazy.
Yeah,
because there were other kind of projects that spin-off projects that I tried to do. For a while there, we were trying to do a Twitch get together. I think it was on Wednesdays.
Okay.
And that must have been how I teamed up with. Oh, that is how I teamed up with Game. Where's Game?
With Game, yeah.
Game would know. And because I reached out to the.
Not know. Game would not remember.
Okay, Game might know. But that is how we met up, because I reached out to the board and I said, hey, I have this idea to do a spinoff where we all meet up and we have like a listening party. And Game had a Twitch channel that he wasn't using, and so we started using that, and that was cool. Kind of burned out after maybe a couple months, but it was a cool idea. But I think this is a better application for what we're doing there on the subreddit. The other thing too is that's crazy. I think Namada, you were talking about this on our little chit chat channel. I started this when I kind of started my first job, and say a career is 30 years. I would only get to, I think, a little over 50% of the Grateful Dead's catalog if I were to continue to do this for the next 20 years, which I really don't intend to do. Hopefully I don't have to work for 30 years. But yeah, that's outrageous. It would take us 60 years, the way that this is currently planned, to like get every show and hit every show. So, I mean, that's cool.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff. Okay. More interesting stuff, perhaps, was what the Grateful Dead were doing on April 8th, 1978. Let's get into the first set. It starts off with a Mississippi half step. We get into Me and My Uncle, into Big River. They love each other. Looks Like Rain. Back to Jerry for a Deal. We get an El Paso, a Roses, and then a Lazy Lightning Supplication to end things on set 1 of April 8th, 78 in Jacksonville, Florida. Knob, what were your thoughts?
I like it.
Nice.
I have definitely heard this show before. Longtime listeners will know that I am a nut for a good 78 show. And these April 78 shows are very strong, which is why the box set is coming out. I believe this show is in the box set.
I forgot about that. I'll look it up while you talk.
Upcoming. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it is, but I'll accept that I'm wrong. But this one's a fun one. It's a very interesting, it's an energy show. That's what this show is all about to me. It's about dynamics and it's about energy. Mississippi Half Step is an interesting start to the set. It's not balls to the walls crazy. It's much more groovy and mellow, which is fun. To me, it really pops when we start to transition into the Rio Grande part. That first batch of instrumentals after the vocals have stopped. Is where the show starts to really click. Jerry finds himself in this nice little arpeggio thing, and the jam soars. It's just, it can start so small and then get very impressively big, which is very nice.
That's what she said.
Nice. Very nice. It is.
Continue.
It is always an office in Scranton, Pennsylvania somewhere. Then we get into Me and My Uncle, which is like very early Disco Dead feel. This is the start of that sort of feel. You can hear it especially in what Phil and the drummers are doing. And you can hear Phil very prominently in this mix, like we've talked about. It's got a good little Jerry solo, and then the good times roll on into Big River, which is really jumpy and alive with some fun solos and fun harmonies. Then we get to the They Love Each Other. Some lively Jerry vocals. It's got a little pep in its step for a slow They Love Each Other. And to me, it's all about the little touches that Jerry and Bobby are bringing here. They are very careful about not overplaying. They're adding just the right little touch every time, which is very nice.
Yeah.
The solo is really good. Looks Like Rain is a really strong Looks Like Rain. It leans really hard into its dynamics. Because on paper, a slow They Love Each Other into Looks Like Rain could be a total ice bucket on the energy of a set list. And I think they know that, and they're refusing to let this Looks Like Rain be that ice bucket. The Jerry solo is so good. The Mutron is on, and he is ripping. It's an interesting example of Jerry playing some bum notes, but then recovering. More than once, you can hear him kind of settle on a dissonant note with what chord is being played, and then he will start throwing in some other things so that it feels a little more purposeful. And that's something I've always admired about Jerry's playing. In the second verse, Bob and Donna get on a totally different page about like singing the rhythms of the song.
Who do you think messed up there?
I think Bobby was going for something interesting, but Donna was going for straight. What they know. Yeah.
Fair. Yeah. But how do you know, to Donna's credit, like how does Bobby communicate that properly on stage when they're singing such tight harmonies? Right.
Not to bring it here, but I spent the last week seeing Phish a bunch of times.
You had to mention Phish.
I had to. I was at Bethel and Mondegreen, and I want everyone to know that. But Trey's been doing a thing in the last year or two where, kind of similar to what Bob's been doing, even more so with like Dead & Co., is he's been really having fun playing around with the rhythms of the melodies. Just, he's been singing these songs for 30, 40 years. Yeah, so he's starting to mess around with them, find some new angles. And that generally works, and it's generally really cool. And then sometimes other people will have to sing harmonies with Trey, and there's no way for the band to anticipate what weird rhythm he's going to do on Wolfman's Brother or whatever. And so it's an interesting feel, because you do want that spontaneity, that fluidity, but also when other people are singing with you, you have to sacrifice that to some extent. But this Looks Like Rain has no sacrificing, and they giggle their way through it, and it's fine. It's a good Looks Like Rain. And then we get to a deal that's very bouncy and lively. The drummers aren't losing their minds, but they're adding just the right touches to make it soar. It's probably the energetic peak of the set, is this deal. This El Paso rules. This has already been... I've had a very crazy person listening project where every time I hear an El Paso, I put them in a very large Google Doc of ranked El Pasos. And when this show started, I was like, that date looks familiar. I'm pretty sure this El Paso is on my list. And this El Paso is number 6 on my list of top El Pasos.
Oh.
This is a good one. It's really good. It's a powder keg about to explode, and once it explodes, god damn, it's good. It's all... El Paso is about dynamics, because El Paso is very
theatrical.
Yes.
Which I think is why you like it, because you're a theater kid.
It's a story, and if you're telling the story right, because it's a very simple and repetitive melody and chord progression. If you just over and over go da 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 da, it gets old. It's a 4.5 minute song of mostly that melody. What makes El Paso very interesting is that sometimes it's a very quiet and soft and sometimes it's big and it's huge and it's bombastic, because that's the story. It's about this cowboy that kills somebody, runs away, and then comes back just to die. It's got big moments and small moments, and you want to nail that to really tell the story. And they absolutely tell the story here. It's really, really strong, this El Paso. Very nice Roses. It's lovely, lovely Jerry solo taking us into the last chorus, and the harmonies are really good. And then we get to Lazy Lightning Supplication. Lazy Lightning is a fun little fireball of energy. And then it settles down really nicely into Supplication, which has a lot of room to grow, and it grows. It's an awesome Supplication. I love, this is a small thing, but Mickey has this little cowbell rhythm that he starts doing during Supplication that I thought was really fun and sounded nice. But yeah, there's great energy throughout this set. I really liked this first set. What did you think, Fig? I was about to call you game through muscle memory.
I did. I liked it a lot. I think I liked it in the sense that it was really fun. You could tell that all the players were having fun up there. They're having a real good time, and it really shines through. There is a Hunter Siemens Matrix out there on the archive that I would totally recommend. I would also recommend, although it hasn't come out, Nabi, you were exactly right. This Jacksonville show, April 8th, 78, will be part of the upcoming April 78 box set. I guess it would make perfect sense that because this is a fire show. I don't know why they would not do it. I didn't know that there's a separate album coming out called Duke 78.
That's just so basically whenever they put out these box sets, they take one show and they put that show out on streaming. Like when they did the St. Louis one a couple years back, and they just put that 71 show, but the box set had 4 or 5 shows.
Right.
The Giant Stadium box set a couple years back had they released the 191 show, but not the rest of it. And that's what they're doing here. The Duke show will get put on streaming, and everything else you got to buy the box set.
Very interesting. Okay. Yeah, and those are all going to be released on September 20th, so in a month.
Yes.
But for the time being, go check out the Siemens Matrix. It was really good. And I know that I don't think Dave Lemieux uses Matrix versions. There is some piped in crowd noise from time to time. But if you want to hear a good mix of soundboard that's existing and an audience recording, definitely check out that Hunter Siemens Matrix. So we start off with a half step. Yeah, it didn't really wow me. I thought this was a nice use of dynamics, and that was one of my impressions throughout the night. I thought this was a pretty good laid back version that did kind of pop towards the end, as a good half step typically would. Uncle, I just said was good. River, I said was good. They love each other. I thought this was a very good version of this one. Keith's piano solo was a real highlight. And Looks Like Rain. So yeah, there was some really sweet Bobby and Donna harmonizing throughout, and then a very sweet exchange. I thought it came off very well. I mean, I could tell Bobby kind of screwed up, and I think Bobby knew that he screwed up. They get off track from each other in their harmonization, and everyone just turns it into a laugh. And Jerry even acknowledges that with his guitar, and kind of, even though it was a laugh, maybe it wasn't up to Jerry's standards for the Grateful Dead. So he kind of raises that floor back up to where that standard is with a very, very excellent solo. And then Deal, obviously. However, this one was a bit more laid back than normal versions. Again, really good Don Gene harmonies and good use of dynamics, leading to an all-timer build at the end.
Yeah.
And then there's that El Paso. I was waiting for Knob's impression, as I typically do with El Paso. I'm it's hard for me to read El Pasos because, I kind of get it, but it doesn't, it's hard for me to tell, distinguish different El Pasos. This one was distinguished for me by a lot of lead bass playing by Phil. And that kind of continued throughout even to set 2. And I kind of had an epiphany about Phil's lead bass, which I'll just get into now because, hey, why not? So I'm a bassist, right? And I never like Phil's bass playing. In the sense that I never would try to emulate Phil's bass playing with my own bass playing. Not just because I'm not good enough. Certainly I'm not good enough. But also because it doesn't appeal to my sensibilities all the time. It's that lead bass that I don't know. Like, he can do it within the Grateful Dead. If I tried to do that in my, garage bands, I would get kicked out.
Yes,
it's a different type of bass
Phil,
playing.
And it works because of the players he's playing off of.
Correct. Now, but the realization I had is that Phil's bass playing is like a snake, okay? I really like what he does when he's in the pocket and making a groove. So in, say, Scarlet, and then the Jam, and then in Fire. Love what Phil's doing. Just like a snake. I like watching a snake in a terrarium, behind glass. If, when the snake rears its head and is all over the fretboard, for example, El Paso, for example, is what I meant to say. and then kind of throughout the rest of this first set into the second set, that's when I'm just not as much of a fan of Phil. That's my impression. I don't know, thoughts on that. Now, is that evocative?
I hear you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean
okay.
it's different
He's a
things.
very
When I've
yeah.
been, because I play guitar primarily, but I've
Hmm.
done a little bass in gigs and such. And one of the sayings that goes around is that guitar is an instrument you hear, bass is an instrument you feel.
Sure.
A lot of bass is less about hearing the individual notes and laying down a bass, note for the rest of the band to kind of play off of. And
Hmm.
Phil very much plays bass that you are meant to hear.
Right.
Um, it it comes from his different influences and such. And it definitely doesn't work for most kinds of music, and most people trying to play like Phil Lesh can't actually do it. I don't
Correct.
know. I like Phil. I think that the different approach is what separates the Grateful Dead from a lot of bands trying to sound like the Grateful Dead, um, or trying to play that music. But I don't know. I'm pro Phil, but I definitely understand that there are times where having what is essentially three guitars going off all at the same time can start to get a little busy. And often
Yeah.
even leads to someone like Jerry having to kind of hold everything down. Even, there was one song tonight that really made me think that. I want to say it was They Love Each Other, where
Hmm.
Phil was very active and all over the place. And
Hmm.
Jerry really had to lean into playing the chord, the G major chord and the C major chord and all of that the whole time to kind of keep the song together.
Yeah. Yeah. Very interesting.
Yeah, he's not he bass is often the glue and Phil has no interest in being the glue.
Well, sometimes he does though. Like I mean,
Sometimes.
yeah,
Not no
yeah. He
interest,
he can do
but
everything.
that's not his primary focus.
That's correct. That's correct. All right, let's continue on. It must have been the roses. I always do love this little ditty. This one was well played again with the good dynamics and good harmonies. We get to Lazy Lightning Supplication. I do love this suite. I didn't think this was the best played. Lazy Lightning was kind of a sketch of a jam,
Yeah.
sketch of a song. The jam was great with an awesome slide into the woos of Supplication, which I called a quick and dirty supplication. So we jump back into set two, which is kind of a short set too. Samson and Delilah
Yeah.
into a Scarlet Fire. Scarlet Fire, I would say, is probably 25 minutes long. Estimated Eyes, drums, Sugar Mags into One More Saturday Night Encore. I'm kind of tired of me talking, so now why don't you go with your impressions?
Sure. I also like set 2. Um Whereas I felt set 1 took a couple of songs to really get cooking, I felt like they came on ready from the jump in
Yeah.
this second set. The Samsons rules. Um, the drummers are absolutely killing it. Bob is really on. There's one point where one of the verses when he's doing is, "You can please man," like he gets really into it, and you can hear
Mm.
someone close to a mic yell, "Whoa!" Just at how into it he is.
Yeah.
During Jerry's solo, during the jam section, Keith and Phil get into this really fun rhythm thing. Keith is mostly playing quarter notes, and it allows Phil to kind of do some fun and funky stuff. The only real thing is the band is not on the same page about when this Samson ends or how many choruses it
Yeah, the false
has.
stops were very
Yeah, yeah,
false.
yeah. But overall, I really like it. And then we get to Scarlet Fire. This is also when I started to note Phil's bass. It really cuts through everything, especially with how high he's playing and how active he's playing in this Scarlet.
Yeah.
It's a
And
speedy
also
Scarlet.
tone. He had a very
Yes,
interesting tone. It was kind of,
absolutely.
I don't know if there was a effect on it, but it felt like almost like liquidy. Like I can't not describe it in words.
Yeah,
Um, it was interesting though. I did like it.
yeah. It was
But there was
definitely
a
an
lot.
interesting sound. Yes. In general, I felt this Scarlet, it was a fast Scarlet, and at the top, it felt a little cluttered at times. There were times that I would describe this Scarlet Begonias as even claustrophobic. But it really clicks into place during that first solo. The whole band is really expertly supporting what Jerry is doing. And then it gets really freewheeling in the jam, and then soars with some Jerry Tremolo strums and grooves its way into the fire. I liked the Fire more than the Scarlet, truth be told. But it's because they had kind of settled into this groove. It's all working nicely, and then Jerry is he's just cycling through a lot of interesting solo ideas. Especially rhythmically, but he's just having fun trying a bunch of shit, and that rules. And then we get to Estimated, which I also thought was really good. It jumps really well between the euphoric and the uncomfortable, but especially shines in the euphoric. That build in the post-bridge jam, when it's built around that the chorus chord changes, was awesome. And then I also loved how comfortable this one was in being weird and quiet. The jam got really quiet. I literally sat there and I thought, oh, people would talk over this jam nowadays. People would absolutely not shut the fuck up while they were playing
they'd be talking
this
over
jam.
the whole thing.
Oh, yeah. But this is the kind of jam, having seen bands like J-Rad and Dead & Co., these are the kinds of jams that make a crowd talk to each other, and that's a shame because it ruled. And then we get to Eyes, which is fun and groovy, again, fast and disco-y. I do kind of feel like it starts off so high energy that all it can really do is deflate. And I do feel by the end the energy has sort of deflated a little. Though I do like the sound of the last verse that's super quiet with really just Jerry and the drummers and like little bits and touches from the other players. And then we get to drums, which had some fun sounds. It starts off very cymbal and hi-hat and chime heavy. It was very like higher pitched in drums. And then we get to the later half, which is all about groove and toms and snares and intensity more than it is about weirdness. And then we get to Sugar Mag. It's a slower Sugar Mag out of space. It's a mellower vibe on that song, which works for it. But especially with how truncated the second set has been, you're looking for, I don't know, a little more of a rocker to close things out. And then we get to One More Saturday Night, which kind of is that rocker I was looking for. It's very solidly played. Overall, this is a fun second set, but there's not much that I go crazy over. Though I do love the Fire and the Estimated. What did you think, Fig?
Somewhat agree. So Samson, going back to my prior thoughts about Phil, I wrote so much Phil.
Yeah.
Not that it was a bad thing. It was just he was way high in the mix. So Phil lovers rejoice. I thought this was nicely played until there was that miscommunication before all the false stops, which is understandable given the song. Poppy does do a woo-hoo-hoo, like a woo. Like, so I guess they knew they were playing kind of hot and on the edge, and they were having fun with it. Yeah. I agree. Scarlet didn't really catch my eye, or ear for that matter. I had to learn the hard way to let her pass by. But the jam, wow, the jam. Now, I don't often raise the specter of Phish because I know where that goes with you, Knob.
Of course.
And I'm certainly not a Phish
about Harry
expert.
Hood within minutes. We brought him up twice today.
Oh dear. I'm certainly not a Phish expert or a Phish person, or a Phish. But
True.
the jam, they start having some fun with the rhythm that did remind me of Phish. I think it was Phil and I think it was Keith that started playing around in a way with rhythm that sounded Phish-like.
Yeah.
And that's as far as I will take it. I hope you agree. But this was kind of a hot potato jam in the sense that no one really knew what to do. But that wasn't a bad thing. In the past, there were hot potato jams where Jerry was like, I don't know what to do. And everyone was just looking at Jerry. However, in this one, they did get into some really heavenly, kind of ethereal ambient sound that I really loved. It was just like a beautiful canvas, kind of like beautiful wallpaper that you could look at. Like Magic Eye, for example. And I called it Grateful Dead vibing at its best. So there was about 5 minutes there before Fire that I could just take that and stitch it together for an hour. I think it'd be awesome. And Fire was slow to build, but then became a very fun version with Jerry even throwing in some schoolyard sounding licks. So again, they're all having fun here. Until we get into Estimated, which I really liked your turn of phrase there. It was, what was it? Do you recall what you said about it? It was very good. I should have written that down.
No, don't remember what I say
Oh,
about
it was
anything.
so
I
good.
say
Yeah,
words
fair.
and I move on.
Fair. Okay. Well, neither of us remember at this point. I did not hear anything too special, except they had a really slick transition into Eyes, which was a nice laid back version of Eyes of the World. Jumps in Space was, I listened to it, it was decent. Sugar Mags was decent as well. Phil promises they'll be back, and they were back with One More Saturday Night, which I really loved. That was a real party. Again, this was a party show, and I really liked what they were doing down in Tallahassee in April of 1978. So let's keep going with our show sheet. We did have a Scarlet Fire. What, Knob, if you could rate that Scarlet Fire out of 100, say they were taking a math exam, what would you rate that Scarlet Fire?
On math scores, and
Yes.
sometimes it feels like we're treating it like IGN, where if we give it anything less than a 7, that means it's terrible. Whereas, we got a whole scale out of 100. I might even go a little lower as I say this, but I'm gonna go with the number I've said, because it gets good, but it definitely takes some time to get good.
Yeah.
It really is. It's the jam out of Scarlet and the Fire on the Mountain that have this thing rated so high. Yeah.
Yeah, I would rate it higher than a 72. I love that ethereal ambient aspect to it. So I'm going to give it a 83. So there's some variance there. I'm going to do some math, and we'll figure out what the average is for you all.
Yeah.
Is...
I'm not doing math in my head.
No, I'm not either. I'm using a calculator. 77.5.
Yeah,
that's probably...
I did do math in my head.
Nice. Probably one of our lower rated Scarlet Fires. Be interesting to know what Game thought of it. All right, Book of the Dead.
Weaker Scarlet Fires, at least for as of late.
Well, I've heard Scarlet Fires where they do the hot potato and they never actually get around to it paying off. Yeah. So this hot potato actually
heard
worked.
Worse. We've heard worse Scarlet Fires for sure, but we've had some good ones lately.
Yes, fair. All right, now would this make your Book of the Dead?
I don't think so. I think it would be close, but I don't. There are other shows from this month that will be in this box set that make the Book of the Dead.
Yeah, and I agree with that. Which set though? I'll go ahead and I will say. Usually we do set 2, and usually if there's a Scarlet Fire, it's going to be set 2. I'm gonna go with set 1 this week.
Yeah, I think you won't go wrong listening to either set. But I would say the things that really wow me in this show are in the first set.
Yeah, I did like that One More Saturday Night though at the encore.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do set 1 for y'all.
Samson and the Fire estimated.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would say they're both even, but let's do set 1 for a change. All right, and now, do we have a mother trucker? Will it be Phil? Bobby Weir is the defending heavyweight champion of the mother trucking world. But Knob, does Bobby keep the belt?
I actually do think I vote Bobby this week. I think that this show is as good as it is because of Bob. It is the Bob songs that consistently stand out to me the most. And I think he's adding a lot of touches that make this show as good as it is. It's also a good Jerry night. I wouldn't be mad if someone said Jerry.
Well, twist my arm. Yeah, I'm going to do Jerry. I didn't hear much about Bob. I mean, the singing was good. He was having fun. He was probably coked out of the mind. But I'm just going to go with Jerry. And what that means is Bobby keeps the heavyweight champion of the mother trucking world. Wow. And we actually do have a Reddit comment. This is from frequent poster Arcturian Ally, who writes, the only ever performance in Jacksonville, Florida. Very interesting. And the next show is a famous one. It's from Europe 72, April 21st, 1972. Yeah, at the Beat Club in Bremen, West Germany, a country that no longer exists. The band played a short squib of a set, Bertha playing in the band, Mr. Charlie Told Me So, Sugar E trucking into the other one, and then One More Saturday Night. Something I noticed on Dead Base is they had, I'd say, a week between their last show and then this television appearance that we're featuring on April 21st, 1972. It'd be cool to know what the hell they got up to in Europe.
Yeah, I know, and this one is just a television recording. This is the one that's filmed at the TV studios.
Right, and they were in Denmark before that. I don't know what you do. I don't know what they do in April. That's cool though. Maybe someone will know and someone will write in. And if you do, you can email us at helponthewaypod@gmail.com, or you can find us on the web at helponthewaypod.podbean.com. We are also typically sticky, although the subreddit's getting a little weird with the election season. Reddit.com/r/Grateful Dead. And I think we have some stuff on YouTube still as well. And you can find us wherever podcasts are downloaded, including Spotify at this point. So if you see us on the webs, please do smash that subscribe button, like and share with all your fine feathered friends. Knob, any closing words about this April 8th, 78 show?
No, but if anyone wants to talk to me about Mondegreen, we can email at helponthewaypod@gmail.com. I'm not allowed to talk about it on air, but I'll talk about it with you.
Okay, and I will be certain to forward any Phish-related emails you get.
Thank you.
And for that, I'll say thank you very much. Stay tuned for set 1 of April 8th, 1978, and thank you for listening to another episode of the Help on the Way podcast.
down. South Colorado, West Texas bound. We stopped over in Santa Fe. That near the point, just about halfway. And you know it was the hottest part of the day. Well, I took the horses up to the stop. Went to the barroom, ordered drinks for all. 3 days in the saddle, you know my body hurt. It's been summer, well I took off my shirt. But I tried to wash off some of that dust and dirt. West Texas cowboys, there's all around. With liquor and money, there's low down. So soon after payday, though it seemed a shame, you know my uncle, he starts friendly game. Hey, hello, Jack, in the winter, take a hand. Got sore. One of them called in, then 2 more. Accused him of cheating. Well, no, it couldn't be. I know my uncle, he's as honest as me. Well, hey, I'm as honest as a dependable man can be. That's one of them cowboys, he starts to draw. Well, I shot him down, well, he never saw. Shot me another. Well, that damn he won't roll. In the confusion, by the ground to go. Well, hey, I tailed it down to Mexico. Those cows, I let that go. Love my uncle, God rest his soul. Taught me good love, and he taught me all I know. Taught me so well. That goes. When I left this dead ass bill on the side of the road. just a few eyebrows that you went on down along. Don't that weeping willow had to cry, cry, cry. Don't the clouds had to cover up a clear blue sky. Tears cry for that woman, gonna flood you big river. I'm gonna sit right here till I die. Well, I'm bound on down to Baton Rouge or Queen. Take that woman down to New Orleans, New Orleans. Give up, I had enough. I don't have my blues on down to the Gulf. But she loves you, Big River, more than me. Don't that weeping willow let it cry, cry, cry. Don't the clouds had a cover of a clear blue sky. Tears cry for that woman, gonna flood you, Big River. I'm gonna sit right here till I die. see that it's true. Lord, you can see that it's true. Lord, you can see that it's true. He could pass his time around some other night, but you know he chose this place beside her. Don't get in the way. There's nothing you can say, nothing that you need to add or do. They love each other. Lord, you can see that it's true. Lord, you can see that it's true. Lord, you can see that it's true. filled your side of bed. The covers were still warm where you've been laying. You were gone. My heart was filled with dread. You might not be sleeping here again. It's alright, 'cause I love you, and that's not gonna change. Run me round, make me hurt again and again. But I'll still sing you love songs written in the letters of your name. And breath is starting to come, for it surely looks like rain. Did you ever awaken to the sound of street cats making love? Guess by their cries, you were listening to a fire. Well, you know, hate's just the last thing they're thinking of. They're only trying to make it through the night. Again and again. We're getting our act together here. Boy, is it ever going to be worth it. Don't you let Paso, fell in love with a Mexican girl. Nighttime would find me in Rose's cantina. Music would play, Felina would well. Blacker than night were the eyes of Felina, wicked and evil while casting a spell. My love was strong for this Mexican maiden. I was in love, but in vain I could tell. One night a wild young cowboy came in, wild as the West Texas wind. Sharing with wicked Felina, the girl that I love. So in anger, I challenged his rank for the love of his maiden. With his hand for the gun that he wore. My challenge was answered in less than a heartbeat. The handsome young stranger lay dead on the floor. Just for a moment, stood there in silence, shocked by the foul evil deed I had done. Thoughts raced through my mind as I stood there. I had but one chance, that was to run. Out through the back of Rose's I ran, out where the horses were tied. The good one, he looked like a good one. Up on his back in a way I did ride, just as fast as I could from the West Texas town of El Paso. Back in El Paso, my life would be worthless. Everything's gone in life, nothing is left. But it's been so long since I've seen the young maiden. My love is stronger than my fear of death. I settled up in a way I could go, riding alone in the dark. Tomorrow a bullet may find me, and nothing's worse than this pain in my heart. And at last year I am on the hill overlooking El Paso. I can see Rose's cantina below. And my love is strong and it pushes me onward. Down on the hill to Felina I go. Off to my right I see 5 mounted cavalry. To my left, right, a dozen or more. Shooting, I can't let them catch me. Got to make it to Rose's back door. Something is dreadfully wrong around me. A deep burning pain in my side. Getting weary, unable to ride. But my love for Felina is strong, and I rise where I've fallen. While I am weary, I can't stop to live. I see the white puff of smoke from the rifle. I feel the bullet go deep in my chest. Know that Felina has found me. Is it not shaking? She kneels by my side. Cradled by 2 loving arms that I'll die for. With a kiss and Felina goodbye. we can't decide what to do next.
what your own lips told to me. Let me lay beneath the roses. Let my eyes no longer see.
Roses
in the window. No one is complaining. No. Come in and shut the door. Faded is the crimson from the ribbons that she wore. And it's strange how no one comes back anymore. I don't know, it must have been the roses. Roses or the ribbons in a long brown hair. I don't know, maybe it was the roses. All I know, I could not leave her there.
We're going to take a short break. We'll be back in just a few minutes, so everybody hang loose.